My name is Matt, and this is my sister Tiffany. And on this adventure, you never know what to expect here on our journey. We visit a lot of theme parks. We get to try a lot of different types of food. Travel into local areas. You never know what we'll run into on our journey.
It's too claustrophobic! I don't think I was allowed to go in there.
You never know who we get to run into on our journey.
It was nice to meet you guys. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Including the people we interview. And so much more that doesn't even fit on the table. So come along on this journey because you never know what to expect here on Adventures Access. Welcome everybody to Adventures Access. Today we are here again at another Back to the Future 3 fan event. Last year we were at Columbia State Historic Park. So today they are doing it here at Railtown 1897. So this is going to be a little different.
Somebody doesn't like it.
That's right. Try going on it.
If it's so easy. But it was already cut up. He's up by the stage of the music. You actually got the tails
Oh, right inside the passenger seat there, there's specimens that they throw into the train to make the train go so fast.
Even got some more DeLoreans right here.
A new person putting it on, and they're trying to see if Josh and I back to DeLorean.
There's a hoverboard back there.
Hey, Dad.
So which of these license plates actually say something on them? So the one that I showed you has Marty on it. This one says Back in Time. And this one over here is the flux capacitor one. So as you guys see, they have DeLoreans out here. So the one that is open, that's actually an automatic, and the rest of these two are actually stick shifts. But that's pretty cool. I mean, last year they only had the one, which is over there, which you used to take pictures in. Not sure if they're doing that today. But this is pretty cool, seeing more DeLoreans than just one. Not sure if you guys can see that, but this is what they are doing today. Return to Hill Valley, September 14th and 15th. Today is the 14th, so hopefully I will get this video up before Sunday. So this is a 2-day event. So these are the featured guests that are supposed to be here. Burton Gilliam, Jeffrey Weissman, Robert Bennett, and these are some of the people that are going to be basically not cameos, but special guests here. So just like last year, they did do the train ride as what they're doing today and tomorrow. So the train tickets were $90 per person. Unfortunately, we didn't go, but they do take you all the way to the set where they filmed Back to the Future 3. But the thing is, it's not really anything over there because of the major fire that destroyed it back in the day. So, I mean, with me, it would be a cool experience, but if there was like something actually eligible to see something over there, then just, paying $90 just to go look at dirt. Speaking of the train, here it comes.
See, this was at about 3 o'clock in the morning. We were trying to get the, Lorraine's pulling the shade up on the window that has the bricks behind it. And we couldn't get it right because the flicker of the slideshow kept flicking. So we went to our third dinner, I think it was.
Okay.
We came back at about 4:30 in the morning. Zemeka said, Leah, just do your line to the camera, cheat it, and cover it, and then let it go up. And that worked, and we went home finally. That was a 26-hour long day, I think that was.
Okay.
Because we'd only have Michael on the weekends to play Marlene. But why not just sign it and do my character? That you can read that pretty well.
Yeah.
And then
I'll let it dry.
you know, when I come out, or when I come in the first time through the door, and I say, "How's Granddad's little pumpkin?" I improvise that because my head was butt level with Marlene's hot pants, and they stuffed Marlene's pants to give her more butt, and I thought it looked like a pumpkin. So,
Can you write that on there?
how's Granddad's little pumpkin?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
What? Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like it.
The old cowhand.
Like it.
That is awesome. Thank you.
Just want to make sure I didn't smear it. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of Hill Valley, cousins, good cheer. Welcome unto this shady spot where you are about to witness the unwitnessable. An amazing amusement, or an amusing amazement. Take your pick. I, Dr. Cornelius Poindexter, have presented in front of the crowned heads of Europe, the figureheads of state, and now the citizens of Hill Valley of late. Dear friends, I come to you not as proprietor of the Miracle in a Bottle, but I come to you as your friend. As your dear friend that wishes to aid you in ending your suffering.
I hope so.
Ah, yes, I hope so too. I know so. For I, Dr. Cornelius Poindexter, have been certified by the World Medical Club. Yes, indeed, no less. I have traversed the 5, excuse me. Here we are, here we are, here we are. That come out of you, that, never mind. Dear friends, I have traversed the 5 corners of the known world. Oh yes, I knocked upon the Cypress gates of Cinnabar. I've prostrated myself at the feet of Riddy Peepee of Salamanca, keeper of the moon. I've climbed the topless towers of Ilium. I've climbed, bleeding from every orifice, to be at the at the feet of the great guru at the top of the Himalayas, who I asked to please give me the recipe for the miracle in a bottle. Yes, dear friends. Take no substitutes. We know that from modern science that one can understand the ailments just by reading the bumps on your head. Oh yes. How many in here have been hit on the head? Well, you could look no further if you wish to remedy yourself from whatever's been aching you. Have you had a headache? How many here suffer from neuritis or neuralgia or rheumatism, the arthritis? How many of you have been suffering from it? Oh no, none of you? Wait, I have one here. Yes, sir. The miracle in a bottle is a fever reducer. It is a pain annihilator. It has been lowered to 47% alcohol, so it's now safe for children. I, Dr. Cornelius Poindexter, the purveyor of the miracle in a bottle, have suffered greatly experimenting on this my own mortal body with his elixir. And let me tell you, it has reversed the aging process in me. Oh yes. I now for the very first time present the miracle in a bottle, and where is it? I have it in the cream form here, so I have it in the cream form. Just a moment. Dear friends, take no substitute for the cream form. Well, when I find it, the cream form miracle in a bottle is known the world over as the imminent liniment. Can you say that? Imminent liniment. 5 times, real fast now. Imminent liniment.
Imminent liniment. Imminent liniment. Imminent liniment.
That's music to my ears. Yes, overnight, used liberally. The imminent liniment, the miracle elixir in the cream form, the salve, it's the balm. It removes unwanted freckles, warts, corns, and carbuncles overnight. Oh yes, no less. In fact, it removes wrinkles, it reverses the aging process, and it is known to bring back to life recently deceased small pets. Think about it just for a moment while we have a brief musical interlude. The guy who wrote this song was deaf. He couldn't hear a note. This is the verse. This is the verse. But he knew all the rules, he did, and that is why he wrote the first verse first. The first verse first. My tongue is sweaty, excuse me. The bird who wrote the words was as crazy as a loon. There's nothing to this song but the tune. And this is the chorus of the song. This is the chorus you're hearing now. You make up the words as you go along, because no one pays attention anyhow. Tra-la-la, dum-dee-dum. If you want to, you can whistle it or hum. When you're singing this song to your friends, remember this is where the chorus ends. This is the chorus once again. Tra-la-la-la, with sealing wax. A rooster is different from a hen. Have you ever sharpened pencils with an axe? Sweet Adeline, sweet Adeline. You're the kind of a girl that men forget. Here's the part everybody recommends, because it comes just where the chorus ends. Dear friends, the miracle in a bottle is available in the personal size and also in the family pantry size. The miracle in a bottle has been proven time and again to bring relief to suffering humanity. And for the first time here, the miracle elixir is available in the pill form. Yes, children just delight in its delicious liver flavor. perhaps a child, but perhaps this dear child here will be a testimony. Come with me. Yes, just yesterday, this child was suffering from a despotic belly. Oh, what could possibly be causing this upset tummy? Well, of course, an unwanted worm. The miracle elixir acts as a vermifuge. Just last night, this child, before bedtime, had a glug or two of the miracle elixir, once again, lowered to 47% alcohol, so it's safe for the child. And in the morning, in your bed, eviscerated from your belly, was an 18-inch tapeworm. Ho-ho! How do you feel today?
Good.
Ah, there you are! And this little girl here, she was such a naughty girl. Yesterday, she reached into her mother's reticule and pulled out a hairpin and swallowed it. Of course, she suffered from terrible hairpendicitis. But look at her today, back to her vital self, crying in her mother's arms because she's so happy to be alive after ingesting the miracle elixir. Cleared right up. And then, of course, this young man here, oh, just yesterday his hay fever was so terrible, his hair had turned to straw. And look at his robust hair, when used as a liniment, restored to its natural beauty. And this gentleman here, when used, the miracle in the bottle. Used as a liniment, you just pour a liberal amount and massage it in, massage it wherever you may hurt, and before our very eyes.
Why, that's more hair than
There you have it!
yesterday.
Hey, full head of hair! Ha-ha!
How do I look now? I wish I could see myself. Do you have a mirror? Do you have a mirror?
That's not your color. Another musical interlude. Everybody sing with me. While strolling through the park one day, in the merry, merry month of June, the snowflakes they were snowing and the summer breeze was wafting as the fishes in the treetops whistled so. Then a charming maidish maiden came flitting, twitting by. We knew right then and there that spring had came. A nose like red, red roses, her face like holy Moses. Her figure would put Venus to shame. She was cross-eyed, four-eyed, every other kind of eyed, hair-dyed, pie-eyed, still she was a dream. Knock-kneed, flat feet, both of them were left feet, weighed a pound less than a match. She was so lean, though her wig was turning gray. We love her just the same, 'cause she lives down in our alley. She was cross-eyed, four-eyed, every other kind of eyed, hair-dyed, pie-eyed, still she was so sweet. I think she was sour. She was sour? She was sweet. Sweet. Knock-kneed, flat feet, both of them were left feet. Just the type to bring home that your mother liked to meet. Oh, the songs my dear old mother sang to me. Always eat when you are hungry. Always drink when you are dry. Go to bed when you are sleepy. But don't forget to breathe or else you'll die. That reminds me of a lullaby my mother sang to me. Oh, when I had a terrible nightmare, I'd wake up in her arms, and she'd say, "No, back to sleep, my darling. Let me sing you this lullaby. From the hag and hungry goblin that into rags would rend you." You had to know my mother. Dear friends, the miracle in a bottle has been brewed by my own hand with the ready pity of Salamanca, keeper of the moon's own recipe. Only here can you get it. My personal guarantee it will reverse any ailment you may have. Arthritis, rheumatism, as I mentioned, diphtheria, scrofula, nausea, anything that goes at the end. Dear friends, my personal guarantee, my guarantee until the next coach to Auburn, Once again, dear friends, how much would you pay for a preventative that would protect you while you're back in the high lands, the Sierra foothills, searching for gold? How much would it value to you be a value to have a pantry size to protect your family? I have the pantry size of the miracle in a bottle in my hand. For one small gold nugget goes to your hand. Don't rush me. No takers just yet. Think about it. I will be here after the next set of music, for I understand we have some special guests who will be dancing for this next set. So do attend, and please come take no substitutes. A miracle in a bottle from yours truly, Dr. Cornelius Poindexter, at your service. Thank you for that marvelous display of fusion. In honor of my many years with the railroad, you're presenting me with these ties. Oh, that's a different speech. Never mind. Thank you. Carry on as if nothing ever happened. Okay. Carry on. Miracle, family size. How about some gold flakes, gold dust? Gold. Think about it. Hard to get business these days. Hard to get business. Would you like to?
Yo, this is a derringer. Last time I shot a man, took him 2 whole days to die. Means you'll be dead by supper time Monday.
Excuse me, I don't know who you think you are, but we're dancing here.
Woo! Who's this? You didn't tell me about this fine piece of calico. I'd like a dance.
I wouldn't give you the pleasure. You're just gonna have to go ahead and shoot.
I guess I'll get my $80 out of her.
No, no!
And then I'll dance with him. I'll dance with him.
Woo! Yeah!
Well, my partner has a gun in his hand.
Oh, you'll learn, calico. I bet you for $80.
I believe you. I dance.
Oh! Push me. How dare you?
Oh! Damn you, Tannen!
No, I damn you! I damn you to hell! Lighten up! Yeah! Yeah! Mighty strong words for a run. You ready to back that up with more than just a pop plate?
Hey, man down. Say it, don't spray it, alright? But leave my friends alone.
What's wrong, dude?
Mr. Eastwood, I just want to present you with this gun and gun holster from Peacemaker, and we want to thank you for helping us get rid of Mad Dog.
Oh, wow, for free?
Free, yeah.
Oh, wow.
But in case you lose, I want the gun back.
Thanks.
Well, what's wrong, dude? You yella?
Nobody calls me Yella. Alright? So what, are we gonna do this at high noon?
I knew. I'll do my killing before breakfast. 7 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Do my killing after breakfast.
Let these sissies have their body.
start over here at the end. You pass down the mic, introduce yourself and what you did in the series.
Hi, my name's Jay Newington. I grew up here in Tuolumne County. I live in San Diego now. My partner Jennifer Thurman and I did all of the local casting for Back to the Future 3. And subsequent to that, my partner Robert Baker, who's right there, we managed the Red Hills Ranch for about 4 years.
Which was the movie set?
Yes, that's Hill Valley.
And also Jay's one of the organizers of the event along with Bobby here. Sir, please introduce yourself.
Hi folks, I'm Burton Gilliam and I played the part of the Colt gun salesman in the third of the trilogy. That's what I did.
And what other roles are you known for?
Oh, well, everybody knows about Blazing Saddles and Paper Moon and Back to the Future 3, Fletch. And, I've done 42 movies. Some of them you may have missed. But I'm so proud to be here. Thank you.
And I'm Bobby Bennett. I was Michael J. Fox's food taster, which meant I did it, and if I didn't die, they'd think about letting Michael do it. No, I was his stand-in and photo double for about 20 years, and fell in love with the area up here, and here I am putting on the festival.
Bobby, what was the first film you stood in for Mike, and what was the last film that you worked on with Mike?
Let's see, the first film would have been Teen Wolf. And the last film would have been American President.
And can you give us an example of the stand-in, like in action?
Yeah,
like do the.
I can actually show.
Just do it.
Here's what a stand-in
This
does.
is sit-in.
He finds a little X on the floor, like thus, and then he walks over to it and stands there.
Amazing.
That is how I made my living for
Hollywood,
about
folks.
50 years in Hollywood.
Showbiz.
Standing on a piece of tape. Even now, I'll walk through a supermarket, there'll be a piece of tape there. I'll stop and stand there till somebody tells me to move along. So, basically, that's it. As a stand-in, you're there to be lit, so that when the actor comes out to do it, it's all set, ready to go.
Okay. This gentleman just wandered on to the. He's not supposed to be here. No, I'm just
Come on. I was stand-in for Crispin Glover. I'm Jeffrey Weissman. Dr. Cornelius Poindexter, and I played George McFly in Part 2 and Part 3, and shared the credit with Crispin on Part 2 because he got the close-ups when we were back in 1955. And I'm actually fighting with Biff out in the parking lot and kissing Lorraine on the Enchantment Under the Sea dance floor. But Crispin got the close-ups. Yeah, because makeup. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
But you got the girl.
I did. Yeah.
And I would say that he'd share the role of the younger George, but old George, that's 100% Jeffrey. So when you watch that movie, that's his role. He mastered that upside down and right side up.
Most of it's down on that X on the floor.
Can you demonstrate the upside down? Can you?
Yeah, do it.
Sure. On this
We got a nice tree here. Does everybody have a
Do it so we believe you.
Here is Rusty. Rusty, introduce yourself and your significance with the franchise.
Yes, my name is Rusty Locke. I've, for the last 10 years, been a professional Doc Brown impersonator. Got into this business with my dad, John Locke. For 60 years, he was a character actor, did all kinds of westerns, worked out here. Was actually good friends with Burton Gilliam over here, and knew him in a long time for celebrity golf tournaments and stuff like that. This is my 4th year at this version of Return to Hill Valley, and so I'm very honored to be a part of it, and it's been great. Thank you.
But what was your first fan event that you played Doc Brown in?
I believe it was the Gamble House.
In 2015?
2015.
We're going back to 2015. That
Yeah.
was 30th anniversary of Back to the Future. We're going back. 2015 was 30th anniversary of Back to the Future. Rusty was the official Doc Brown of that event, and then what happened after you were the official Doc Brown of this fan event?
I did all kinds of different events, and then was contacted by Universal Studios to do it, and so I'm a doc there on the back lot and courthouse and all kinds of events and special things that they have here, there, and everywhere.
Have you worked with Chris?
I have met Chris. We have not worked necessarily alongside each other, but I've met him a couple times.
So my biggest claim to fame is that I'm friends with Burt down there. So myself and Jay and Bobby are the three principals that put this on, and Jeffrey's help, of course, and everybody's help. Thank you very much, gentlemen. But I helped manage the set after Back to the Future with Jay, and I worked on the film as a scenic artist, so I painted all the courthouse and all that stuff, brick by brick. But nowadays, I'm standing for Arnold Schwarzenegger. Thank you.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to open up the Q&A straight to you guys. If anybody has any questions right now, we'll take them and start off that way. If you don't have any questions right now, I know you do and you just don't want to speak up. I've done enough of these. There's like 8 of you out there that have a question, been waiting for the whole day.
I have a question.
Yes.
I would like to know how many of you are cast members or extras in the movie out there? Raise your hand if you were there. There's 1, 2, at least 2.
There's more talent in the audience than up here.
And they're more talented too.
Any questions yet? Any questions here? Don't be shy. Okay, this always happens. I'll come back to you. You'll have a question. Oh, here we go.
Did Bert come all the way out from Texas to be here?
Bert, did you come all the way from Texas to be here? How was your flight?
Yeah.
How was your trip?
Why did you come all the way out here?
Awesome.
It was wonderful.
Good.
Yes, it was. I enjoy going to these sort of things, and especially this one, because this is, I said something like this somewhere last night, this is a trilogy of film that will never be replaced, never be even close to going beyond. And this is like a family reunion where family reunions only come to a close because the young people don't take up what the older folks have started and made a classic. So, and I see so many young people here, you know, in their 30s, younger than 30s. So remember, if you want to keep this going, please, all of you people, young people, keep pushing for it.
That's me, younger than 30. Yeah, thank you. Bert, can you tell us a little bit about coming out here back in the day to shoot part 3? When you came out here the first time, how did you find this area? How did you find the town? Anything like that?
Of course, I lived in Hollywood at that time, and I'd never been to this part of the country. I'd been to this part of the country, but only to see my friend Slim Pickens, who lived over in Columbia. I didn't know anything about this area, but for the first time I came here to do the picture, it was cold. It was in November, and it was really cold. I remember when we were shooting the 3 nights that I worked, it was so cold that every time they would say, cut, everybody would run to some fire somewhere. It was very cold, and we all had to, do that because we didn't need it to look cold. And that's what I will always remember about that the very first night anyway.
Great. Keep thinking of questions. I'm going to come back to you guys. Actually, there's a question over here.
Are there any actors going to show up from the whole movie?
Any actors tonight, today?
Today or tomorrow?
No. This is the extent of our cast and crew. Jeffrey's the closest. He was in part 2 and 3, and obviously Bobby was also in. Jeffrey, can you tell us a little bit about your involvement? You did mention, Bobby was Michael's stand-in. You played George in 2 and 3 because Crispin didn't come back, but you mentioned that when you were first approached, you thought you were being hired to be Crispin's stand-in, and that was your. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. I was working at Universal, playing Stanley Laurel and Hardy, and Charlie Chaplin, and Groucho Marx, and the agent that usually handles lookalikes called me up and asked if I knew who Crispin Glover was. And I said, sure. I did a film with him at the American Film Institute in '83 before he got the first Back to the Future film. And we got along great, and I thought he was a cool guy, nice guy, and we exchanged phone numbers. And in fact, when in '84 he was doing Back to the Future, I was working on Pale Rider with Clint Eastwood, and I wanted to see what the summer competition was for Pale Rider, and went and saw Back to the Future, and I thought it was just hands down a fantastic film. Was already a fan of Mike and Chris and then Leah. I'd been cast in All the Right Moves, and then my part was written out just before we went to shoot. I was like, dang. But then there came Crispin, and he really kind of stole every scene he was in. He was so fantastic. So I called him up to congratulate him, and then we really didn't talk much over the next couple of years, but in '88 I got the call from this lookalike agent and said, do you know who Crispin is? And I said, yeah. Are you the same height, same weight? And I said, no, he's heavier and probably taller than me. But what is it? Because rumor had already started going around that Back to the Future sequel was in the making, and Universal had thrown enough money to get all the principals back, and so I needed work. My second son was on the way, and I needed my health coverage. So I actually went home and called Crispin. I said, say a good word for me. I might be up for being your stand-in. I went and met with the assistant director, two different ADs, and interviewed, and said I know my way around a set. And they went talk with Bob Zemeckis. Then I was sent to makeup to have fittings for prosthetics and molds of my face, and then a body cast for a special effect that didn't stay in the film, where I got to spin for pizza in 2015. And I figured they needed George in 2 places at the same time, like they needed Michael. That's why they had Kevin, in 2 places at the same time. But then it was my makeup artist. After my screen test in the young George makeup, where Dean Cundy said, hey, I think we got Crispin without the trouble. I was like, what does that mean? And then my makeup artist said, Crispin's out, you're going to be George. And I couldn't fathom how they were going to do it. And then slowly but surely, I at first was told Crispin had scheduling conflicts with another project that he couldn't get out of. And then people were telling me stories about him on the first film, and so on and so forth. And then during the shoot, during that body cast, I was upright before being spun. Spielberg came up to me and said, so Crispin, I see you got your $1 million after all. And I was like, oh, am I saving you that much money? And that's when I really learned that he never gave approval for use of his life mask in my makeups. And after I learned that I was being kept a secret by Universal and not given my photos, I said, this is not right. And I told Crispin my stories and shared my photos, which helped him get his settlement out of court for about $750,000. But he's never called to thank me, but that's all right. I'm here.
What was the first thing you shot?
We shot first the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, the dance, with kissing Lorraine on the dance floor is me, and it was odd because I was referred to as Crispin. When Zemeckis would call action, he would go, Crispin. And I had to go up to Bob Z and I'd say, I'm Jeffrey, not Crispin, call it. So he changed it to George, and then he just started saying Leah for action. It was a bit odd and uncomfortable, and I felt terrible. But by the end of the first week, Mike had me in his dressing room over to have a beer and chat, and he told me stories that would blow your mind. That's for another one of these.
Adult only one.
Thank you, Crispin.
Hey, you.
Any questions out here? Any questions? Yes, sir, right here.
Well, I had a question about shooting and weather accommodations. Burton was mentioning that it was shot in November. Did they go from dusk to dawn on a daily basis, or just as needed for the principals, or what was being shot that day, or how did the production proceed?
So the question is about the weather and the time of year that they shot it in. You want to take this, Jay?
Sure, just at the beginning. So at the beginning of the shoot, it was summer. So they had enormous trailer-mounted air conditioning trucks for inside the saloon, and that was a lot of the Hill Valley street scenes that you see Marty, arriving in town and being dragged through the street, and Doc and Marty, all that daytime stuff. But the festival was at the end, and that was towards the end, middle of October through the beginning of November, which is what Burton was referring to. So that's a big change in the weather, and a big change just in your rhythm, because we were shooting from dusk to dawn for the festival. So
you had to go all night for the search.
For the festival, yeah. So yeah, the sun would be coming up. Then the next shift would come in, because they were shooting during the day too.
Of course, when you're working on a set like that, you're looking forward to working multiple days. I mean, if you're set to work 3 days, you want to bring something to a head and work a week or 10 days or whatever. Usually when I've been cast for something, it's like, 3 weeks or 5 weeks, something like that. But when I was offered the role for 3 days of that's something. If they offered 15 minutes, I would have taken it.
Or the weather's just too nice. We need to keep it that way. Any more questions right now? Any questions? Yes, sir?
Does anyone still own any original film props?
Does anybody in this group own any original film props that you stole from the set and the statute of limitation has passed? Somebody here has a corn cob.
So yeah, Jay and myself own the original swinging doors that Michael walks through in the bar, and they're for sale for $60,000.
Such a deal.
Anybody else? Did anybody else keep anything? Jeffrey, looking at you.
I have. There's a portrait of Old George profile, I think it is. And last day of shooting, I said, "Well, that's me. I think that's mine." So I still have that. That was on the mantle. I wanted to mention also on the part 2 shoot, we only had Michael on the weeknights after his shooting of the last season of Family Ties all day, and him on the weekends. So needless to say, those weekend shoots were as much as 26-hour-long shoot days. And I remember asking Mike, when do you sleep? And he said, in the limo in between the studios.
Wow. Yeah, I sleep in the limo too.
When we started, it was really difficult because Michael was working Family Ties. He was there all day, and then we'd come and shoot all night, and that was for at least a week and a half. I was doing Full House, so we were kind of in the same thing. So yeah, it was that first week was really tough. I think he had to work 3 weeks to finish up his obligation on Family Ties, so it was tough on him. It really was.
And what props did you keep?
My paycheck. It was $15.83.
Any questions out here? Yes, sir.
Hanging of Mike, how'd that go?
Oh yeah, the scene of Mike hanging, and what part did you have in that?
I might have had a little part in that, I'm not really sure. What was going on is that Michael was in the harness. That was my dinner. Michael was in the harness, and when they went in, for the long shot it was fine. When they went in for the close-ups, the back of his shirt kept lifting up from the wire. So they were trying to figure out what to do, and I went over to Charlie, who is his stunt double, and said, listen, it's easy. Just have him grab the rope, hold his hands away from his jugular vein, and string him up. So do it. So they did it with me. I survived. Then Charlie did it, just again to make sure that everything was safe, and Charlie had no problem. Well, now comes Michael. And rather than holding it like this, Michael held it like this. So the second the pressure was on, it cut off all the blood. I was down below with Charlie, and I saw Michael's eyes roll back, and I thought, man, this is the best acting I've ever seen Michael do. Michael must have really seen somebody choked out at one time or another. And then Bob Zemeckis is giving direction, saying, okay, Michael, you look up and you see Doc now. Michael, you look up and you see Doc. And then we realized we brought him down. He was out like a light. And they did not take any more of my suggestions for the rest of that film, and I never understood why.
And then the whole story ended up in the Enquirer, and it caused a big stink. Zemeckis hired a detective to come on set as a townsperson, and finally found out that that detective heard one of the extras bragging how they made money off the Enquirer, off the story, and that person got fired.
They also had Jeffrey come in and also hang just
for the heck of it.
Upside down.
Upside down, buddy.
Bobby, so was that usually the case? It was like you, you and then Charlie?
Charlie.
And then Mike?
And then.
Okay, so next year Charlie will be here, and then next after that it'll be Michael J. Fox will be here. So we're starting with Bobby here.
I'm the food taster.
Yeah.
I get the first shot.
I'm going to take more questions. Just also remember we have Rusty here, but we also have Doc Brown. If you have a question for Doc Brown, Doc will answer it also. Okay. You had a question over here, sir?
Yeah, the Palace Saloon, was that the only built interior part of the Red Hills Ranch?
Oh, that's a good question. Do you want to take it?
Yeah, it was built to scale and all that stuff, and it was really an ornate thing that they built, and took really a couple months to build. The structure itself was, the bar was 2 stories and had 14 or 15 rooms upstairs, and probably 8 or 10 downstairs, and the stairwell and all that stuff. It was really a spectacular thing. Just as if it was being built for a regular bar. It was really that good of well built.
Can you talk a little bit more about the set that they built and what happened to it after the movie?
It really took a long time to build that set, and it's amazing in the movies. You'll build something according to the plans, and then they'll change that and they'll say, well, we don't like the mullions on the window, and you're thinking, what? I mean, like, this is really going to show it's a very, very small thing, but they want that changed. And so you go change that, you paint it differently. They are extremely particular about that stuff, and depending on who's directing. But a lot of changes. And in the paint department, once they start shooting, you're on standby. And so they'll get there and they'll be looking at it and they'll decide, well, we want that window to have a different color trim on it. And so they go, scenic, and you had better be there with 4 different colors for them to choose in a matter of about a minute and a half, because there's the whole crew is standing there waiting for you to paint this. So it makes you a little nervous. You're in front of all these people. And I'm not sure what the cost was per minute for Back to the Future, but I know it's $10,000 a minute or something like that. And everybody is waiting on you. Everybody's watching you. So you better be ready to change those colors at a drop of the hat.
I had one of those when I was hanging upside down in part 2. I like I mentioned, I was put in a body cast and then turned upside down on wire. For that one, for the pizza thing, it was the pole that went through the set that was on a wheel that turned. And I got cinched into the body cast, the costume put on top of me, and I had not caught a deep breath. And I was turned upside down, and I couldn't breathe. And I was action, and all I could do, because I'm claustrophobic, I started having an event and started trying to rip the costume off and flailing. And Zemeckis was, "What, Jeffrey, what? I couldn't breathe, I can't breathe." So they got me up, and I said, "I just need a minute, please, just a minute to walk it off." But then I was going, "What is this, $50,000 a minute?
Yeah.
It's going to cost more than what they're paying." Anyway, yeah, it's a lot of money.
At least standing around.
At least Zemeckis called you Jeffrey.
Yeah. By then.
Absolutely. My father, John Locke, did a lot of celebrity golf tournaments, and he met Mark McClure, who played Dave McFly, and absolutely a lot of golf tournaments out there. And so he introduced me to him, and he said he plays Jimmy Olsen and Dave McFly from Back to the Future. And of course I knew who he was. I was a big fan. He was very, very nice. And he said, I'm going to be on the set next week. If you like, I can pick you up and give you a little tour of the back lot. And so they had finished the alternate 1985. And so they had done the 2015. Everything was fresh and new, flying cars and hoverboards, and had the pond in the center and the mall that was the courthouse. And so I'm, just shining and smiling from ear to ear and trying to contain my excitement as a kid, but walking on the set, and I'm over by the Cafe 80s and the Blast from the Past in the shop where they got the sports almanac. So I'm right there, and I'm with my escorts, and Mark McClure was there, and I look in the Blast from the Past shop, and I see the jean jacket that Marty wore in the first movie. And I knew that movie really well, so I saw it, and I said, is there a reason his jacket, like, does he become a big rock star? What happens? And it was either Kathleen Kennedy or someone of that status there, and she goes, I don't really know why. And they turned to set decorating and said, why is Marty McFly's jacket there? And they said, well, we wanted an Easter egg, something for the fans to point out and notice. And I said, well, I noticed it. I absolutely did. And so it was the scene where I think it was Charlie, the stunt double of Michael, and it was his feet on the hoverboard, picking his feet up and getting onto the hoverboard as it moved. And they had a giant crane, and he was in a giant harness, and I watched that for probably an hour and a half, and just one of the highlights of my life watching that. That was absolutely great. I loved it.
Interviewing you.
Mine is really not a highlight of my career. It is something that I consider very, very close to me, really. Slim Pickens, who lived the last 7 or 8 years of his life here in Columbia, who was my first great friend in the business. And I like to tell this story because his real name, my real name is Burton Lee Gilliam. Slim Pickens' real name was Lee Burton Lindley. Lee Burton Lindley. I think that is so unusual that somebody I've kind of modeled myself after for so many years. I found that out. I'd known him for 10 years before we ever really talked about our names. And he couldn't believe it, and I couldn't either. Lee Burton and Burton Lee. So, and the second person is, my name is Burton Lee Gilliam. The second guy's name was Burton Leon Reynolds. That would be Burton. It would be Burt Reynolds, and he was my second great friend in the business. I've had a lot of friends. I am blessed, folks. I've had a lot of friends, but no two were better than those guys. And I would say that Slim, when it came to character actors, I'll put him there with anybody. Burt Reynolds, we never saw Burt's real talent until the last few years of his life. He was an unusually great actor who they didn't offer him any stuff with real meat to it until his last 2 or 3 years. So I'm proud to be that my two greatest friends had the same name that I had.
Your signature and your character name.
Going to Walmart. The famous signature.
Wait a minute, I'm going to make this too.
You don't have to make it out to me.
Oh, just sign my name.
Sign your name
Okay.
and your character name.
And my character.
Yeah, and your character name.
That's one heck of a signature.
It's a beautiful signature.
So you live here full time, but you're still working on projects?
You know what? When you're an actor, you're a migrant. You go where the work is. It could be in Asia, Europe, wherever.
Now, if you put $20 with that picture will be worth $20.
That's right.
Mechanic.
Oh yeah, the mechanic of the plane.
It's all about ball bearings. And myself, I think it's the bypass line. And I don't think he's doing no singing with the tabernacle choir. It's just, and we made that whole scene up.
No way.
Just the two of us.
No way.
It was written so badly, and he called me one day and said, you're coming in tomorrow. What are you doing? I said, I'm not doing it. He said, come over here. We're in Beverly Hills at some park. He said, I hate this scene, but we've got to have it. Let's you and I work on it. We went over and we just said, let's ad-lib the whole thing.
That's funny.
Well, here's what we've got to say in there, but the rest of it, let's just blow it away.
You guys did good. That was funny.
It was a good scene. Yeah. Oh boy.
That was a good scene because that was memorable.
Oh yeah.
What you guys did there, that was memorable.
If you've seen that picture, you remember that.
Yes.
Scene.
As soon as you start saying it, I remembered all that. The ball bearing each other.
Yeah.
And I remember the guys.
Man. Golly.
This was actually...
Can't walk straight.
You can't walk straight. This was actually something that you can't walk straight to. No. Which way you want to go? Yeah, go this way.
Okay.
There's an opening. This was actually a lot different and a lot cooler than last year, knowing we did miss quite a bit of stuff last year, but this year was actually pretty interesting. We got to see some scenes. Tiff just ate a bug.
No, and, I didn't eat a bug in the hairs in my face.
She got some hair in her face. What was I talking about?
We're saying goodbye?
Goodbye. Oh, no, wait. No, today was really cool. And yes, it was still for the cause of the Foundation for Michael J. Fox's Parkinson's disease. And I am tired. Well, no, I'm hot. I'm hungry. I can't think. What else?
We got some cool things.
Oh yeah, we're going to show you guys the type of cool stuff we got.
Show you one of them.
You can show you one, yeah. Got a signature from Burton Gilliam right there. And
man is such a sweetheart.
he is a very nice guy, very nice guy. And we got to see Bob Bennett, and Jeffrey Weissman, and a few other people. And I did not know Jeffrey used to work at Universal
I didn't
at
either.
the park, and so did Doc, because, well, now you know, because, you know, he is good at playing Doc Brown.
They said they normally hire him on special occasions.
Yeah.
So he could have done the 60th.
He said he was in the back lot with the DeLorean, so
See, there you go.
that's pretty cool. So anyway, this was a really interesting, cool experience. Until next year, because this year they did it at Railtown, and last year they did it at Columbia, and next year I think they're going to do it in the Jamestown
They're going
town.
to try to get it in the town, Jamestown.
In the town of Jamestown. Yeah. So anyway, this is going to be one long video.
Very.
And I'm hot, as I said. I got a headache.
Goodbye. Wrong
And
car.
goodbye. Where's our vehicle? And see you on the next trip.